Good morning students, myself Shekha Alvadia, welcome back, and today I am going to explain you law of demand. So what is the law of demand and how it derives? So first let us understand, basically the law was proponed by Dr. Alfred Marshall, and that he tries to prove the relationship between the price and demand by the way of this theory or by the way of this law. And what he tries to prove is that ceteris paribus, when the price of commodity increases, its quantity demanded decreases, and vice versa. Ceteris paribus means other things remain constant. So what he tries to prove is, when other things remain constant, if the price increases, the demand decreases, and if the price decreases, the demand increases, right? So that is, he tries to prove the inverse relationship between the price and demand, right? So the inverse relationship I already explained you in the last video, and I hope that you all are aware of that now. So Mr. Alfred Marshall tried to prove that when the other things remain constant, the price of commodity increases and its quantity demanded decreases, and vice versa. If the price of commodity decreases, the quantity demanded increases, right? So other things remain constant, the price and demand are inversely related. So that is what he tries to prove, and he proved in this theory that ceteris paribus, price and demand are inversely related, right? So that is the law of demand. So now let us understand this with the help of the diagram. So guys, in first video I told you to explain the term demand, right? And in that it was like that at various price what people uh, purchase, that is called as demand. So let us understand that with the help of schedule. And here you can see that as the at the price 10, the demand is 10, right? So when the price is 10 rupees, the demand is 10 units. Now when the price decreases to 8 rupees, the demand increases to 20 units. Now when the price decreases to 6 units, say 6 rupees, the demand increases to 30 units. So as you can see here, the price is continuously declining, and on the other hand the quantity demanded, that is demand, is continuously increasing. So this schedule show us that there is an inverse relationship between the price and demand. Price and demand are inversely related. So whenever a price of any product increases, people will consume less, and if the price of a product decreases, people consume more, right? So that is in this schedule have been prepared on the basis of this inverse relationship. Now guys, let us plot this schedule in the demand curve. So in the graph, first we'll plot the price on the vertical x and quantity demanded on the horizontal x, and then at price the quantity demanded, at price 10 the quantity demanded 10. So here it's the point of intersection. So here it intersect at this point. Then at price 8 it is 20, so the intersection point is here. At price 6 the demand is 30, right? At price 4 the demand is 40. At price 2 the demand is 50. So guys, by joining all these points we will get the demand curve, right? So what is the demand curve? What is the nature of demand curve? Yes, the nature of demand curve is negative. Why it is called negative? Because it's moving, the curve is moving downward from left to right. The demand curve is moving downward from left to right. So that's why we called that the demand curve is negative. The demand curve is negative. Now why there is a inverse relationship between the demand and price, or why this happen that whenever the price increases the demand decreases, or whenever the price decreases the demand increases? What is the reason behind that? What are the causes behind that? So let us understand that in explanation. So there are basically two causes behind this price and demand relationship, or we can say the two effects. That is, first is a substitution effect and second is a real income effect. So first let us understand the substitution effect. So guys, in this theory, previously in this statement I already explained you that ceteris paribus, that is other things remain constant. So when we say other things remain constant, that means all other factors apart from price are assumed constant, right? So in this theory, the other factors like income, price of related goods, taste and preferences, right, expectation about future prices, that all has assumed as constant. So when this price of related goods remain constant, that means here if we are measuring the effect of price on tea, price of tea on demand of tea, so here in this will keep the coffee, price of coffee will be constant, the price of coffee is constant, right? So we have assumed the price of coffee as constant. So guys, just assume that the price of coffee is constant. So just assume that it is 12 rupees and it remain 12 rupees, and the price of tea decreases and it become 10 rupees. So in such case, what will happen? The demand of tea will increase. Why it will increase? Because in here the tea become relatively cheaper, and that is why the demand of tea increases. Now guys, in case B, what happen is that price of tea increases. The price of tea increases. It is 12 rupees, right? So if the price of tea increases, now you will find the tea comparatively, relatively means comparatively. So in comparison to coffee, now the tea has become costlier, right? So people will shift to coffee, and that's why the demand of tea will decrease. The demand of tea will decrease. So when guys the price of any product increases or decreases and the price of substitute is constant, the product become relatively cheaper or costlier. Relatively means in comparison with. Relatively means in comparison with. So here in comparison with tea, in first case the tea become cheaper, and in comparison with coffee, in case 2 the tea become costlier, right? So when you relate a product, when you compare two products, two substitutes are there, in such case people tends to compare the product. So in comparison to coffee, the tea is relatively cheaper, and in comparison to coffee the tea is relatively costlier, and that is why the demand increase and decreases. Clear? So that is the first effect, that is substitution effect. That is substitution effect. So next let us go, let us understand this second reason, second cause behind this inverse relationship between price and demand. The second effect or the second cause is real income effect. So before I explain you the effect, what do you understand by the term real income? What is real income? Real income means the purchasing power. Real income means the purchasing power, right? So out of the given money, the nominal income here, the money people earn, that's the nominal income. So here the nominal income remain constant, right? So we have assumed the income constant. So the nominal income remain constant, but as the price increase or decreases, the real income will change. The real income will change. So that means the purchasing power of people out of the given nominal income do changes. So when the price increases, the real income, that is the purchasing power, will decrease, and when the price decreases, the real income, that means the purchasing power, will increase, and that is why demand also increases. So let us understand that with the example. Suppose Mr. X has 1000 rupees, right? So out of 1000 rupees at a price of 100, suppose a product any product costing 100 rupees, so at a price of 100, how much he can buy? 10 units, right? So he can buy 10 units, and that's why he will demand for 10 units. Now suppose the price increases to 200 rupees. So out of 1000 rupees, now Mr. X can buy only 5 units. Yes, the purchasing power, that is the real income, decreases, right? So now Mr. X can buy, out of the 1000 rupee, Mr. X can buy only 5 units, and that is why the demand will decrease. So the real income decreases, and due to that the demand also decreases, right? So what is the relationship you identify here? That if the price of any particular product increases, the real income decreases. That means the purchasing power, how much quantity he can buy out of a given money, that is the real income. So the real income decreases, and that is why the demand also decreases. Demand also decreases. Now let us understood with the price fall, right? So suppose if the price decreases to by 50 rupees, in such case how much Mr. X can buy now? Out of 1000 rupees he will be able to buy 20 units. He will be able to buy 20 units, and that's why he will buy whether 20 units or will buy less by spending less money. So he will spend the extra money for something else. So guys, what you can identify over here is, as the price decreases, the real income, that is the purchasing power, increases, and the demand will also increase, right? So that is the relationship between the price and demand due to the real income. Real income means purchasing power, right? So that is the second cause behind the price and demand relationship. So that is the real income effect, that is called as real income effect. So as the price increases, the purchasing power of person decreases, and as the price decreases, the purchasing power of person increases, right? So that is the real income effect. Now let us understand the assumption, guys, in this theory. The first, when we start the statement, it was ceteris paribus. So what is ceteris paribus? Ceteris paribus means other things remain constant. So in actual situation, other things does not remain constant. But here in this theory, it's an assumption that other things remain constant. So in this theory, it has been assumed that other factors apart from price, like income, taste and preferences, price of related goods, they all are assumed constant. So let us see that the first one, that is consumer income must remain same. So the very first assumption is the income of consumer is assumed constant, right? So there is no change in consumer income. Now guys, let us think that the price of a product increases, and with that income of a person also increases. So will it reduce the demand? No, it won't reduce the demand. Why? Because with price, income is also increasing. Suppose in that Mr. X was earning 1000 rupees, right? So instead of 1000, the income of a Mr. X increases by 2000. So in case the price increases by to 200 rupees, will it decrease the demand of Mr. X? No, it won't decrease the demand, right? So that is why, guys, here the consumer income has kept constant, right? So there is an inverse relationship between the price and demand only when these factors remain constant. So if income also increases with the price increase, so in such case it won't have any impact on the demand, right? So that is next. The taste and preferences, guys, here the taste and preferences are also kept constant, are also assumed constant, because if the taste and preferences of people changes, so in such case people won't buy the product at a lower prices if they are out of the taste. So if the taste and preferences do change, in such case even the price and demand won't have the inverse relationship. So here the taste and preferences also assumed constant. Now let us go through next, that is price of related goods must remain same. That means here the price of related goods means the price of substitute and price of complementary are also assumed constant. So here we have assumed that there is no change in price of substitute, or there is no change in price of complementary goods, right? So if the price of substitute also changes, so in such case it won't have the inverse relationship between the price and demand. So you can see here in the previous example when I explained you, so the price of coffee we have kept constant, right? We have kept the price of coffee constant. You can see here that here we have kept this price of coffee constant, right? So instead of keeping it constant, if the price of coffee also decreases and increases with the price of tea, so will it have the impact on demand of tea? Will the price of tea have impact on demand of tea? No. So guys, the price of related goods means the price of substitute and price of complementary goods are kept here constant, or are assumed here constant, right? So only then the price and demand will have the inverse relationship. So next is number of consumer must remain same. Guys, suppose the price of milk bag increases, but in my family number of members are also increasing, so will I reduce the consumption of milk bags? No, right? So if the number of consumer are increasing at whatever, if even if the price increases, people will demand more, people will demand more. So that's why here the number of consumer have kept constant, because if the number of consumer increases or decreases, in such case demand and price won't have inverse relationship. Next, it is there is no expectation about future prices. That means there is no expectation regarding future price, that still the price are supposed to fall down, or still the price will rise more. So no expectation about future prices. So it will have, if the price will decrease, people will buy and more, and if the price increases, people will buy less, right? So that's happen only when there is no expectation about the future prices. So these all are the assumption, and here in this theory we have assumed all these factors constant, we have assumed all these factors constant, right? So that is ceteris paribus, that means other things remain constant. So other things means all other factors apart from the price, all other factors apart from the price. Next, exception. Now guys, there are some exception to this law, and like in some goods do not have inverse relationship between the price and demand, right? So which are that goods? So first, that is articles of prestige value. So guys, articles of prestige value means we can say diamonds, we can say Rado watches, Mercedes Benz. So these are the ancient articles. So these are the goods which people used to buy for uh, to show their status into the society, right? So we can say that they are the status symbol, they are the status symbol. So guys, the goods which are being used by people as a status symbol, in such goods if the price are high, demand will be more, and if the price is low, demand will be less, right? So because here they are not buying the product for their consumption purpose, but they are buying such product to show their status into the society. So in such case, if the price is high, demand will high, and if the price is low, demand will low, right? So that is the articles of prestige value. Now it's inferior article. Guys, inferior article means the lower quality products, right? So in case of lower quality product, if the price decreases, so in such case people will the real income, that is the purchasing power of people increases, and due to that they will try to buy the higher quality goods, some portion of higher quality goods and some portion of lower quality inferior articles, right? So in case of inferior articles, if the price decreases, the demand will decrease, right? So people will shift to the superior goods, people will shift to the superior goods. And the last is others. In others, we can say the goods which do not have impact of price on demand, right? Suppose let us take an example of salt. So in case of salt, there is no effect of price on demand. So if the price decreases or increases, it won't generate more or less demand, right? So suppose if the price of salt decreases, people won't consume more, right? People will not consume more, right? And if the price of salt increases, people will not consume less. So these are the products where there is no impact of price on demand, there is no impact of price on demand. So these are the exceptions, and here we have finished with the law of demand. And what is the law of demand? Yes, ceteris paribus, that means when other things remain constant, price and demand are inversely related. That means when other factors remain constant, if the price increases, demand will decrease, and if the price decreases, demand will increase. Yes, okay. See you guys. See you in next session, and in next video I am going to explain you difference between change in quantity demanded and change in demand, right? So see you in next session. Till that, see you, enjoy, stay home, stay safe.